women are baddies. Like we
Yeah,
can handle a lot.
yeah.
And so that waking up exhausted, waking up without motivation, feeling that you can't function until you get your cup of coffee or you
Mm,
need another cup of coffee to get you through the middle of the day. Those are all really big red flags that there's
mm,
some type of systemic disruption. And again, from a biochemical level, that is your body trying to get you to slow down to conserve energy because you don't have
mm.
enough. If your body doesn't feel safer if it's not at like a homeostasis, then it's going to lead to certain downstream biochemical processes that are going to protect and conserve you, which typically correlate back to adding more visceral fat around the organs, which is where we see
Mhm,
belly fat,
mm,
preserving or learning to live off of very few calories and taking all of
mm.
that in excess as fat. So that's a big one, right? And again, you not shouldn't be losing 5 pounds a week every week. That's not
Yeah,
normal. But if
yeah.
you are eating enough food, eating healthfully, engaging in workouts, and you're not seeing any weight loss or even change in your aesthetic, right? Shift in inches or lean mass development, like big red flag. Other ones that we see, which are very apparent and I just think are normalized are exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many women or doctors have, said the thing like, it's just your mom brain. You're just overwhelmed, right?
Yeah,
No, like women are baddies. Like we
yeah,
can handle a lot.
yeah,
And so that waking up exhausted, waking up without motivation, feeling that you can't function until you get your cup of coffee or you
mm,
need another cup of coffee to get you through the middle of the day. Those are all really big red flags that there's
mm,
some type of systemic disruption. And again, from a biochemical level, that is your body trying to get you to slow down to conserve energy because you don't have
mm,
enough, right? It's trying to
mhm,
protect you. Cycle irregularities, which again are very normalized, right?
mhm,
It's not normal to have period pain. It's not normal to
mhm,
have super, super heavy periods of clotting. It's not
mhm.
normal to miss your period. If you're not, and a big one is again, a lot of women don't even recognize that they might not be ovulating because
Yeah,
we've been told you should only track your ovulation if you're trying to get pregnant.
yeah,
Whereas in
which is not
reality,
true at all. Yeah,
no, no. I mean, you only have a period
yeah,
because you didn't get pregnant, because you ovulated,
yeah,
right? It's like a
yeah,
chicken egg situation.
and it's a
Um,
sign such a vital sign of health, just
Such a
overall
vital
health.
sign of health. Yeah. And to feed off of that one, another one that's really, really overlooked, sex drive. And I think it's uncomfortable to talk about. I do feel on social media, there's more of like a movement of like women openly communicating, but again, it's not the movies. You're not gonna feel frisky and you're like most like crazy self all part of your cycle. That's not norm. It's not, you know, you're not gonna feel super sexy or sex drive forward on your period. That's normal.
Yeah,
However, you should have a healthy sex drive, especially around ovulation.
right.
And you should feel that. And it's not just because you're stressed or getting older. I mean, that's a protective mechanism, but again,
Yeah,
big sign of low testosterone. So I would say those are some of the ones that I see consistently in women, right?
yeah,
That are, that telltale. And then there's a bunch of other sub ones. But the biggest thing too that I tell my clients is every single symptom is a message from your body. Like symptoms are immediate biofeedback from the body, which is so cool, right?
yeah,
Like your body gives you at the end of the day and at the end of your cycle almost like a full report card. And it
yeah,
says, hey, this is what's going on. And, I don't like to use symptoms, especially when I'm working with my clients. I'm like, okay, these aren't your Achilles heel. These aren't these things that are, going to ruin you. These are knowledge because when you see that symptom and you understand why it's happening in your body, then you can be really
yeah.
proactive and like, okay, this is what it's connected to, and this is how I can support it. And all of a sudden, you step away from that space of, confusion, loss of control to like, at this, I know how to support my body.
A lot of the emotional symptoms, right? So there's highs and lows, like you were saying, like during ovulation, sex drive, that's a high. Then you can have also the lows, the emotional symptoms. Curious to hear your perspective. Is there an overlap or a potential of misdiagnosis from women that are kind of just going through these cycle highs and lows? And it's really that they're not aware of an underlying hormone issue?
I would say, yeah. And I really want to, I always lean into my personal story because like
Yeah.
if we could spend a whole hour and a half talking about just like all of the medical little roads that I got thrown down.
Yep.
But there was one point in my own, I've had some level of anxiety since I was 9, right? An
Mhm.
anxious little girl. Um, but when I was 23, 24, when things were really bad, there was a point where multiple psychiatrists were diagnosing me with bipolar disorders, off
Wow.
bipolar 2. And I remember crying to my mom. I might cry now. I'm about to
Mhm.
start my period.
Yeah.
But I remember crying to my mom because I was like, that just doesn't feel like me.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
don't, I've never felt that way. I've never just like been this erratic.
Yeah.
And it felt like they were siloing me into a box, full circle. Like
Mhm.
it was severe gut disruption that was leading
Mhm.
to poor estrogen filtration. And I was on birth control at the time.
Yeah.
Also severe gut disruption that was leading to low dopamine and serotonin production, really big hormones related to your chemical stability, mental stability,
Yep.
happiness,
Yep.
feeling calm. I was grossly under eating and I had a lot
Mm.
of blood sugar dysregulation and insulin dysfunction, right? And then
Mm.
also huge suppression of when you're on hormonal birth control, how it works is it suppresses ovulation. Without
Mhm.
ovulation, you don't produce progesterone.
Mhm.
Progesterone has a very, very large impact on, cognitive health, calming, soothing. And so I've been on hormonal birth control since I was 10.
Yep.
And so I had, at that time, 13 years of suppression of a natural hormone, right? And so looking back, like they had given me mood stabilizers and all these things, and I didn't end up, I took them for a little bit to get to a point where I felt good. But now I've been anxiety medication free for 9 years. Right. And I look back and I was like, that wasn't it. 100% was my body was in such disarray. And I did have these highs and lows of PMS, almost PMDD
Mhm.
thing because of what was happening in my cycle. And because I was trying to force my life, or how women try to force their life into, a round peg into a square hole, and they're like, I just
Mhm.
have to continue to be uber productive, focused, eat the same amount of food, do the same workouts, perform day in day out all the time because that's what men do, and it just breaks us.